Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today in this today we'll be doing political science chapter 2 federalism. So what do you understand by the term federalism? In our previous chapter, you can find the previous chapter power sharing on our channel. We have already discussed that chapter in detail. This is the basically a more formal term used to describe power sharing. It is the sharing of power between different levels of government, which we know as federalism. Vertical division of power among different roles of government is one of the major forms of power sharing in modern democracies. In this chapter, we focus on this form of power sharing, and this is most commonly referred to as federalism. So, we'll be first describing federalism in more general terms, and then moving on to the theory and practice of federalism in India. Basically, this chapter is basically going to focus on the situation that is we practice in India. What forms of power sharing do we practice, and what are the division of power between central, state, and local government in our country? We'll discuss them in detail. So first of all, what is federalism? At the beginning of the chapter only, I help you mark that definition. Those points you have to consider. Apart from that, here they are going to are describing the situation in Belgium and Sri Lanka once again that we discussed in previous chapter, and how those conflicts that occurred in their country were resolved by their respective governments. In Belgium, we didn't have any civil war. In Sri Lanka, it resulted in civil war. So, what was the basic main reason that the war occurred in one country and not in the other? It was basically that representation of communities were handled very properly by the government of Belgium, whereas in Sri Lanka, the government favored the majority and ignored the minority, which caused dissatisfaction among them, hence leading to civil war. More formally, federalism is a system of government in which the power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. This is a very formal definition. In simple terms, in India we have a central government, and then we have respective state governments, and then local governments. This is how the power is divided in India under the process of federalism. Now we'll see some key features of federalism. Basically, two or more levels of government, different tiers of government given the same citizens. Then the jurisdiction of the respective levels of tiers of government are specified in the constitution. Fundamental provisions of the constitution cannot be unilaterally changed by one level of the government. Courts have the power to interpret the constitution and the powers of different levels of the government. Sources of revenue are clearly specified for each level of government in the to achieve financial autonomy. And the last is the federal system thus has dual objectives: to safeguard and promote unity of the country while at the same time accommodate the regional diversity. These are the features of federalism. Moving on, what makes India a federal country? First of all, we will begin with the constitution. India had emerged as an independent. You can read this chapter, this part in detail. In short, our constitution, declares India as a federal country, giving sufficient power to each level of government and also financial autonomy to them, so that they can be independent and practice their practices irrespective of central government policies. Apart from that, we have also different lists dividing the work of different governments. We have union list for the central government, that matters of national importance are included here. State list, state and local importance के matters इस list में होते हैं. Concurrent list जो subjects to common interest हैं दोनों national और state level of government के. Moving on, you can read these facts that are helping you revise, so that you have better understanding of the chapter. This is India in 1947, but India looked like just after partition. How India practices federalism. First of all, India was divided on the basis of language. As you know, India is a very vast country and also has many languages. uh, each region of the country has its own language and dialect. Hence, first when states were being formed, language barriers were considered, that the same language speaking people would be confined or designated as a specific area, and the state would be formed. Apart from that, language policy of making an official language also caused a great stir among the parliament. The language policy, it declared, it majorly, along with Hindi, English was made the official language, so that all states can understand and don't feel that the country is biased towards one language. Then we have center state relations. In majorly in India, center state relations still relatively good, because both of them have significant financial autonomy, and their jobs are very clearly divided in the constitution, so they work well on their own. Now these cartoons are very interesting. You can look and try to interpret them, what are basically what they are trying to convey to us. Decentralization in India is the next topic that will be taking undertaking. Basically, India has a very strong central government, but it does not mean that center controls everything. As we have discussed early in the chapter, the lists clearly give states a significant financial autonomy over their affairs, as well as dividing the responsibilities of national and state government. Hence, India is a very decentralized nation in this regard. These are some points which can prove them. It's constitutionally mandated to hold regular elections to local government bodies. Seats are reserved for other castes and other backward classes and scheduled tribes, scheduled castes. One third of positions are reserved for women. Hence, significant all the minority castes and tribes have representation. Along with that, uh, no particular local body, a local power can remain in the power for long, as elections are mandatory to be held regularly. One third of places are reserved for women. Hence, women also have a significant representation in the parliament. State election commission conducts panchayat and municipal elections. State governments also require share some power and revenue with the local government. Hence, India is very decentralized in nature according to them. These policies. Okay, now our chapter has ended. I hope you basically could understand what I was saying. If you have any doubts, you can leave the comments, and we'll be soon uploading notes for this chapter on our website. Do keep a watch. Thank you. Bye bye.